Let's talk first trimester and some tips on how to survive it. So I have a good little list here. I just wanted to give like a first trimester post update. I'm pretty far into second, honestly, but I did not want to forget to make this video. We found out we were having a baby and we were further than we thought, about a month and a week. So I was like a whole month had passed and I had no clue. Honestly, I was eating a lot in literally the first 2 weeks. Then things started to hit the fan. I think by like week 7, I think that was the first time I threw up. There was just one day where I was just throwing up nonstop. I literally that day had an important meeting, threw up before it, went to the meeting, threw up after the meeting. The first thing I did was contact my doctors. They have a 24-hour line, so I was able to call the office and they told me to try the Unisom and B6. So that was helpful because it helped me sleep, because I was having the most restless nights, and I still do sometimes have very restless nights. And then when it started to get like, oh no, this is not like enough, I was prescribed with Zofran. That was when I was prescribed the Zofran, was week 10. I talked to my doctor. She was like, oh, it's because you're at your peak with like, you know, pregnancy and the hormones and all that stuff. So that's why I was just insanely nauseous. I was nauseous all the time. Looking at things made me nauseous. Smelling things made me nauseous. If I tried to have a food and I ate it, and then let's say we had leftovers and my husband like reheated it and he was sitting next to me, like I couldn't take the smell of it anymore. I could barely eat. Even now sometimes I still have some trouble with eating. It's definitely not as bad as how it was in the beginning, so I'm able to like take in a meal, but I do have like frequent random nausea moments. My bazookas, literally they're ginormous. I do not recognize them. I never thought that my boobs could get so big. I was not used to it, and it felt like a load, and it still does, like every day. And then I saw you can gain up to like 5 pounds in your boobs alone. I was like, what? How can I carry that? Like, I'm pretty short. My butt got huge. I always had like a pretty big butt, but like this baby is giving me booty, okay, like booty. The first trimester, that's when I started to obviously have like really bad back pain, especially as I started to like grow more, have more of a bump. I had started to have really bad back pain, really bad hip pain. Even now, like I'm waiting for my next appointment to like talk about potentially going to a chiropractor. I don't know why I expected back and hip pain to happen like more third trimester, like just later on in the pregnancy. I was getting really bad headaches. I'm not a person that often gets headaches. There was a period of time where I was getting a bad headache every day. I just had to take like Tylenol for that. That wouldn't even work sometimes. So I would just have to honestly just go through it. Honestly, could not wait until nighttime came so I could just go to sleep and sleep it off. I didn't know too that my gums could bleed that much, or you know, frequently like that when I brush my teeth. And then it made even more sense when I went to the dentist and she was like, you know, you'll see like your gums bleeding. And I think my doctor told me that too, like your gums will just be bleeding more because of your hormonal changes. I consider myself a pretty knowledgeable person about things, but honestly, pregnancy will teach you a whole bunch of things. That was honestly a majority of like what my first trimester experience was like, but let me just go into a few tips that I feel like helped me a lot of times. I already mentioned the Unisom B6, and if you feel like you really need to, honestly contact your doctor for the like Zofran or something just a little stronger, and also make sure that they're allowing you to take Unisom and B6 too. One thing that helped me initially with the nausea are these anti-nausea bands. This is like more of a like, if you're not a medicine person. I remember wearing it in a few of my videos, and before I like said that I was pregnant, and I was like always wondering if people noticed that I was wearing them. But basically what they do is they are, as you can see, there's like a little button here, and they go like a few distances below your wrist, and it basically is supposed to target a pressure point that correlates to, you know, helping ease your nausea. They did help a lot. I would wear them morning, noon, and night. drink a lot of water. I feel like if I was like keeping up with drinking as much water as I can, like I would feel probably more energized, not as dehydrated. Like try your best to be very replenished. You're already lacking in energy in the first place, so drink your water. Ginger ale, ginger tea, those little ginger chews. I have like 3 different brands that I was using when I was nauseous and just feeling so icky. Feeling like I was going to throw up, and not throwing up was the worst. It was worse than throwing up, because at least throwing up, sometimes I felt some sort of relief. Again, I mentioned that I was really restless in sleep. It was bad. And then for Mother's Day, like one of my first Mother's Day's gift was for my husband, and he got me a pregnancy pillow because I was just really like, oh my gosh, I need that. I would see moms on TikTok have a pregnancy pillow and how it should help them. And then when I got my prenatal massage, I was on a pregnancy pillow, and I was like, yo, I wish I could have this. And then a few days later, he got me the pregnancy pillow. I think the brand is called Moon Park. I will link everything. Pregnancy insomnia is a thing, and sometimes I'll still like be up all night, or I'll just wake up and be super alert and then just be awake for the rest of the morning and the rest of the day. But it does really help me a lot just to be more comfortable while I'm sleeping. The whole time that I've been talking to you, I've been sitting on this pillow. It's like a cushion for your bum. This has helped a lot, especially with my back, as the pain got like increasingly worse with like sitting for a long time, or like the car or at church or whatever, or here. It's just so hard to sit for a long time, and I was just so sick of like feeling like I'm doing like just to like get up. Just to have this like support has really helped. Also, make sure you're taking care of your mental health. Being pregnant could be really a mental challenge, and I think a lot of times, because this was something that I honestly was in prayer for, I feel guilty sometimes when I'm just like, oh my God, or I have all these like you know, complaints, or not complaints, they're not, it's something I'm really going through, you know, or like feeling like, oh my goodness, like this feels never ending. Like I felt guilty sometimes feeling that way, because it's just like, you know, but I feel like God is understanding, and way more understanding than we think a lot of times. So definitely don't be too hard on yourself. Rest up, get those prenatal massages. Honestly, a majority of my massages I find on Groupon. If you want them for the low, get them on Groupon. Working out has definitely been a thing that has helped me, not only physically but mentally. When I'm completely like just still, or for too long, or for a couple days or whatever, it just is a lot going on in your mind. And everybody talks about like postpartum depression, but there's also something called prenatal depression. You want to try your best to make sure that you don't slip into that. Go outside, take a walk, go to your workout classes. I do mine through the class pass, and it just helps to have like the variation. I feel like I'm doing something different all the time, and being able to have the choice than just having just a solid gym membership and just going to the gym and that's it. And rest up too, like lay in your bed. If you feel like laying in your bed, you're not lazy, you're growing a whole baby. And I think that was another thing that I struggled with, was feeling like I was lazy just because I wanted to lay down, because I was tired. Pregnancy tired is completely different from regular tired. I don't care what anybody says. I'm such a person though that I prided myself on just like, I just don't stay in bed all day. Like I get things done, that I was letting that kind of get to me because I wasn't as like up to do, like being able to do things or up to do certain things. But it's like, girl, you're growing an entire human. Like you're growing legs, a brain, a heart, a like arms. Like you need to just give yourself grace. Hang out with your friends, go out, go on your dates with your mans. Those are all the tips I can honestly think of now. If I have any more, I'll probably put it in the caption or put it in the comments. But if you have tips, please share it with all the mommies and mommies to be. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.